Hello guys, welcome to Everything Smartphone. In 2020, there are a lot of phones already released in the market or announced. All of these smartphone has awesome camera and performance, but today I will focus on camera only. So here I present to you 5 best smartphone of 2020 based on camera. Oppo Find X2 Pro is very sophisticated super flagship smartphone. Everything here is top notch, the most powerful processor, fastest charging, the coolest camera as well. Unlike Oppo Find X2 is IP68 rated, water and dust protected. Oppo Find X2 Pro is available in the market from March 2020. The phone got a 6.7-inch AMOLED touchscreen display and a resolution of 1440 x 3168 pixels. And this ultra high resolution screen has 120Hz refresh rate, and this is the world's first smartphone screen that supports more than billion colors, and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 6. And the Oppo Find X2 Pro has IP68 rated for protection against dust and water up to 1.5 meter for 30 minutes. The Oppo Find X Pro has installed 7nm plus Snapdragon 865 processor for its performance with integrated GPU Adreno 650. It has 12GB of RAM with 512GB UFS 3.0 internal storage respectively. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has triple camera setup on the back side. It has 48MP main shooter with f1.7 aperture and a 13MP periscope telephoto lens with f3.0 aperture and the 48MP ultra-wide lens with f2.2 aperture. On the front side, it has 32MP selfie camera with f2.4 aperture. Oppo Find X2 Pro operates Android 10 operating system with ColorOS 7.1 UI. As for the battery, it has 4260 mAh battery with 65W fast battery charging support. The phone is available in 3 color variants: black, orange and Lamborghini edition, and it weighs about 207 grams. LG V60 ThinQ 5G is a flagship smartphone from LG with 5G support. Traditionally, a lot of attention is paid to the sound. 4 microphones, chips like voice bouquet, LG 3D sound and more. LG V60 ThinQ 5G announced in February 2020. The phone got a 6.8-inch OLED touchscreen display and a resolution of 1080 x 2460 pixels. And it has under-display fingerprint unlock sensor and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The LG V60 ThinQ 5G has IP68 rated protection against dust and water. The LG V60 ThinQ 5G has installed 7nm plus Snapdragon 865 processor for its performance with integrated powerful GPU Adreno 650. It has 8GB of RAM with 128GB of UFS 2.1 internal storage respectively. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has triple camera setup on the back side. It has 64MP main shooter with f1.8 aperture and the 13MP ultra-wide lens with f1.9 aperture and the 0.3MP TOF 3D f1.8 aperture depth sensor lens. While the back camera can shoot 8K video at 30 frames per second, 4K video at 60 frames per second, and as usual, camera features dual LED dual tone flash, HDR, panorama, etc. On the front side, it has 10MP selfie camera with f1.9 aperture. LG V60 ThinQ 5G operates Android 10 operating system. As for the battery, it has 5000 mAh non-removable battery. The phone is available in 2 color variants: classy blue, classy white, and it weighs about 218 grams. Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro is a Chinese flagship smartphone. It contains the most powerful processor in the market right now. The Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro is available in the market from February 2020. The phone got a 6.67-inch Super AMOLED touchscreen display and a resolution of 1080 x 2340 pixels with an aspect ratio of 19.5:9, and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro has installed 7nm Snapdragon 865 processor for its performance with integrated powerful GPU Adreno 650. It has 8GB or 12GB of RAM with 256GB or 512GB of internal storage respectively. This phone does not support any expansion of memory. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has quad camera setup on the back side. It has 108 megapixel main shooter with f1.7 aperture and the 8 megapixel telephoto lens with f2.0 aperture and 12 megapixel portrait sensor with f2.0 aperture, and the fourth camera is 20 megapixel ultra wide sensor with f2.2 aperture. The back camera features triple LED dual tone flash, HDR panorama etc. On the front side, it has 20 megapixel selfie camera with f2.0 aperture. Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro operates Android 10 MIUI 11 operating system. As for the battery, it has 4500 mAh non-removable battery with 50 watt fast battery charging support and 30 watt fast wireless charging support. The phone available in two color variant, pearl white, steady blue, and it weighs about 208 grams. Sony back with 3.5mm audio jack with front stereo speakers and dynamic vibration system. Sony Xperia 1 Mark II announced in the market in February 2020. The phone got a 6.5-inch 90Hz OLED touchscreen display and a resolution of 1644x3840 pixels with an aspect ratio of 21:9, and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 6. The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II has IP68 rated for protection against dust and water up to 1.5 meter for 30 minutes. The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II has installed 7nm plus Snapdragon 865 processor for its performance, with integrated powerful GPU Adreno 650. It has 8GB of RAM with 256GB UFS 2.1 of internal storage respectively. The phone supports an expansion of memory up to 256GB via a microSD card. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has quad camera setup on the back side. It has 12 megapixel main shooter with f1.7 aperture and the 12 megapixel telephoto lens with f2.4 aperture and the 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor lens with f2.2 aperture. And the fourth camera is 0.3 megapixel 3D TOF camera. The cameras are represented by three 12 megapixel with different focal length and an additional TOF module. Particularly emphasize the speed and accuracy of autofocus. You can do 20 frames per second with tracking autofocus and able to focus on eyes of man and animal. The camera interface offers numerous manual settings. Supports RAW, lenses are calibrated by Zeiss. The smartphone can be used as a screen and remote control for Sony Alpha cameras. There is also a lot of interesting things for video shooting, in particular the setting and color parameter that are used during professional shooting. Supports 4K HDR video recording and features Zeiss optics, LED flash, panorama, HDR, eye tracking, 5-axis gyro EIS, OIS, etc. And it can record 4K video at 60 frames per second and 1080p video at 120 frames per second. On the front side, it has 8 megapixel selfie camera with f2.0 aperture. Sony Xperia 1 Mark II operates Android 10 operating system. As for the battery, it has 4000 mAh non-removable battery. The phone available in two color variant, black and purple, and it weighs about 181.4 grams. The largest, coolest and most expensive smartphone from the S20 line. It differs from its counterparts Galaxy S20 and Galaxy S20 Plus with more sophisticated cameras with completely indecent characteristics. While the screen and battery is slightly larger, otherwise everything is similar. Top chipset, all kind of digital bands such as IP68 waterproof, the case is glossy and slippery. Unfortunately, there is no 3.5mm headphone jack in this smartphone, and it is obvious that the most smartphone is currently does not have any 3.5mm headphone jacks, since they are promoting their wireless headphone anyway. Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G available in the market from March 2020. The phone got a 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X touchscreen display and a resolution of 1440x3200 pixels with an aspect ratio of 20:9. And it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 6. The Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G has IP68 rated for protection against dust and water up to 1.5 meter for 30 minutes. The Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G has installed 7nm Exynos 990 processor for its performance, with integrated powerful GPU Mali G77 MP11 for global version, and another USA version available in Snapdragon 865 processor with Adreno 650 GPU. It has 12GB and 16GB of RAM with 128GB, 256GB, 512GB of internal storage respectively. The phone supports an expansion of memory up to 512GB via a microSD card. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has quad camera setup on the back side. It has 108MP main shooter with f1.8 aperture and the periscope 48MP telephoto lens with f3.6 aperture and the 12MP ultra-wide lens with f2.2 aperture, and the fourth camera is a 3D TOF 0.3MP camera with f1.0 aperture. On the front side, it has 40MP selfie camera with f2.2 aperture. Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G operates Android 10 One UI 2 operating system. As for the battery, it has 5000 mAh non-removable massive battery with 45W fast battery charging support, which can charge 100% in just 58 minutes. And it also has 15W fast wireless charging capability. The phone available in two color variant, Cosmic Grey, Cosmic Black, and it weighs about 222 grams.